My friend, there is something I always remind my patients, especially those in their 60 and 70-year-old. Sleep is not just rest. Sleep is when the brain heals. And yet the older we get, the more fragile our sleep becomes, like an autumn leaf that trembles with the slightest breeze. I've met so many people who tell me they can't sleep deeply anymore. James, I sleep, but I never feel rested. I wake up 3 or 4 times every night, and I understand that feeling more than you might think. Because when sleep is no longer complete, our brain doesn't get enough time to clear out its neural waste, repair memories, balance emotions, or reset its ability to focus. One of my patients, Mr. Gerald, 72-year-old, once told me something I've never forgotten, James. I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm afraid of waking up one morning and not feeling sharp anymore. And that is why deep sleep matters so much. When you sleep deeply, truly deeply, the brain works like a city that has turned off all its lights so that quiet workers can repair the roads, sweep the dust, and prepare everything for the next day. But when your sleep is broken, your brain is forced to work in the dark on roads that were never repaired. Today, I want to help you discover how to let your brain bathe in silence, how to restore it naturally and gently so you can wake up with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. Because you deserve peaceful nights and mornings filled with clarity. Section 1, create a slowdown ritual before bedtime. My friend, let me share something many of my patients spent years trying to understand. The human body cannot jump from a busy state into deep sleep in a matter of minutes. It needs time to settle, just as a lake needs a moment to become still after the wind stops blowing. I remember Mrs. Marianne, 72-year-old, who always complained, "The more I try to sleep, the less I can." When I asked what she usually did before bed, she admitted she watched the news, replied to messages, and sometimes browsed old photos that stirred up her emotions. I smiled gently and said, "Marianne, no one can sleep deeply while their mind is still running." So I taught her something I call the slow down ritual, a series of small actions that signal to the body that it's time to rest. Dim the lights, letting the room soften like a quiet sunset. Sip warm water or a mild herbal tea. Take just 2 minutes of slow breathing, only two. Keep the phone away from the bed. And finally whisper to yourself, "Today I did enough." A week later, she returned with softer eyes, a calmer expression. She said, "James, I didn't fall asleep instantly, but I drifted off more gently. It's like my body finally understood what I was asking for." My friend, deep sleep is not luck. It's the result of the kindness you offer yourself before you close your eyes. Start with one small ritual and let your body relearn how to rest the way it once did when you were young. Section 2, create a quiet moment before bed, a gentle gift to your brain. My friend, after many years in this profession, I've realized something important. Many older adults don't lose sleep because their bodies are restless, but because their thoughts won't rest. The brain is a delicate machine. It works all day, absorbing emotions, worries, unfinished tasks. And when your body is ready to rest, your mind keeps running quietly but loudly enough to keep sleep away. I remember Mrs. Lorraine, 72-year-old, who told me, "James, I go to bed, but my mind is still in the kitchen, the living room, and in everything I didn't finish today." I looked at her and replied softly, "Maybe your brain needs a quiet moment before it can enter sleep peacefully." A quiet moment can be a warm cup of herbal tea, a few gentle pages of a book, a couple of minutes simply listening to your own breath. No pressure, no strict meditation, just slowing down and letting your mind release its grip. Science shows that when we reduce stimulation before bed, turn off screens, dim the lights, avoid stressful conversations, the brain naturally increases melatonin production. This hormone doesn't just help you fall asleep, it supports the deep sleep that repairs and renews brain cells. I often tell my patients, you don't have to chase sleep. Let sleep come to you by creating a warm, quiet space for it to enter. And when you do this consistently, something beautiful happens. You don't just sleep deeper, you wake up with a clearer mind, a calmer heart, and a brain ready for the day with the sharpness you thought you had lost years ago. Section 3, write down your worries before bed. Free your mind so the brain can truly rest. My friend, there's something many people misunderstand. We don't lose sleep because our bodies aren't tired. We lose sleep because our minds don't stop working. So many patients tell me, "James, I go to bed at 10, but my mind stays awake until 1 or 2 in the morning." Have you ever felt that way? You lie down, close your eyes, and suddenly every thought shows up: small tasks, old worries, unfinished conversations. The brain becomes a machine with no off switch. And nights like that lead to waking up at midnight, struggling to fall back asleep, or rising in the morning, feeling exhausted despite sleeping enough hours. I often tell my patients, if you don't put your thoughts down, your thoughts will keep you up all night. One of my favorite techniques, simple but incredibly effective, is writing down everything that's on your mind before bed. Just take a small notebook and write for 5 minutes. The things you're afraid you'll forget, the worries lingering inside you, the emotions that stayed stuck from the day. I remember Mrs. Helena, 72-year-old, who struggled with insomnia for nearly 10 years. When I suggested nighttime journaling, she laughed, "James, I'm too old to be writing in a diary." But 2 weeks later, she returned, eyes brighter, voice lighter. I never imagined a few lines could bring so much peace. My friend, when you write things down, you are telling your brain, it's recorded. You can rest now. Not everyone believes it works, not until they try it. And when you wake up with a lighter, clearer mind, you'll understand why this tiny habit holds such extraordinary power. Section 4, learning to let go before bed, giving your mind space to breathe. My friend, I believe one of the biggest reasons adults struggle to sleep deeply is this: the body may be ready to rest, but the mind hasn't stopped working. We carry far too much with us into bed: unfinished worries, vague fears, conversations we haven't resolved, and sometimes memories from years long gone. I remember Mr. Harris, 72-year-old. He said to me, "James, I lie down, but my mind keeps running, like someone flipped the switch on and forgot to turn it off." I gently asked him, "Do you give yourself time to let go during the day?" He looked at me silent for a long moment before saying, "I never even thought about that." You see, we often assume sleep is something the body simply does. But for the mind, especially a mind that has lived through decades, sleep is an art form. The art of releasing, the art of forgiving, the art of giving yourself permission to rest. I encouraged Mr. Harris to try a simple ritual before bedtime. Write down 3 things he wanted to set aside for the night. No solving, no judging. Just writing, like placing heavy bags on the table instead of carrying them into sleep. 2 weeks later, he told me, "James, I never knew writing things down could feel this light. I think less at night, and I wake up without that morning fog." Letting go does not mean giving up. Letting go means making room for peace to enter. Letting go is clearing a path so deep sleep can reach you. My friend, before you go to bed tonight, try asking yourself, what can I set down so my sleep can be complete? It may be a small worry, a tense conversation, a sigh you've carried all day. Set it down even just a little, and you'll feel your sleep become so much lighter. Section 5. Practicing the release of thoughts that don't need solving. Tonight, my friend, here is a gentle but profound truth I've learned after more than 30 years as a physician. Not every worry needs to be solved today. And sometimes the only thing you need is to allow yourself to pause. I remember Mr. Harold, 72-year-old, who tossed and turned every night because his mind kept replaying all the things he hadn't accomplished. One day he told me, "James, my body is tired, but my mind keeps running like a machine without an off switch." I looked at him and said, "Harold, sometimes we don't need to turn the machine off. We just need to set it down and say, we'll continue tomorrow." When you carry your worries into sleep, the brain never truly rests. It keeps analyzing, predicting, remembering, like a guard who must stay awake all night. But when you learn to let go, even a small part of it, you give your brain the chance to do its most important work: repairing and restoring itself. I often teach my patients a simple nightly habit. Place a hand on your chest, take a slow breath, and whisper, "This is for tomorrow," just one sentence. But it draws a clear line between day and night, between burdens and peace. 2 weeks later, Mr. Harold returned and said, "James, I didn't fix everything, but I slept deeper. And in the morning, I finally had the clarity to handle the most important things first." You see, sometimes deep sleep doesn't come from what you add to your life, but from what you choose to let go of. Let the night belong to quiet. Let tomorrow handle what belongs to tomorrow. My friend, sleep is not just the moment the body rests. It is the moment the brain heals, cleanses, and restores itself so that tomorrow you can wake up clearer, stronger, and more alive. The 5 habits I shared today are not complicated or expensive. They are small, gentle choices, but they hold the power to transform your nights and your life if you repeat them each evening. A cool room, a deep breath, a calming rhythm before bed, a mind free from unnecessary burdens, and most importantly, the permission you give yourself to rest. What moves me most when working with older adults isn't seeing them become perfect. It's seeing them give themselves the chance to live a little easier, to sleep a little deeper, to love their bodies a little more. If you found anything helpful in this video, a spark, a moment of peace, or simply the feeling of having someone walk beside you, I invite you to subscribe to HealFit Health. Not for numbers, but so we can continue walking together on this journey, one small step at a time, one deep night of sleep at a time, one quiet moment of healing at a time. Click subscribe and give yourself one more reason each day to take care of you.